Two high-profile athletes are developing a very close friendship. Denver Broncos quarterback Tim Tebow and the New York Knicks' Jeremy Lin. They are both profoundly religious, as we all know, and it's their faith that's bringing them together.
And joining us now are Lin's spiritual mentor and chaplain at Harvard, Adrian, and Greg Anthony. He's CBS Sports analyst, and he's also a former college and NBA star. Great to have both of you with us this morning.
Greg's still looking in great shape, and we're going to need a thesaurus with Chaplain Tam. So, Chaplain Tam, how did this relationship start between Jeremy Lin and Tim Tebow?
Well, I had some connections that knew Tim. I offered to connect Jeremy to him. And when I texted him, he said, "Oh, we already did connect." And actually, he's a great guy. I looked up to him. Yeah, really learning a lot from him. So.
And put a face on Jeremy Lin. You've been a spiritual advisor, if you will. Certainly you were while he was at Harvard, and it continues now. Talk about how he's handled this mega attention that he's getting.
Well, I think he's handled it very well. I'm quite proud of him. I think the key thing is, you know, we look at Jeremy, we think Jeremy is the star. We cheer for him, Linsanity, Linsanity. Well, he looks and he says, actually, Jesus is the star. And so because of that, the focus isn't on him. He can focus on others, just as Jesus did. He can love others, and he can focus on giving credit to God and abiding in him.
Greg, how similar do you think Jeremy Lin and Tim Tebow are, not only religiously, but as human beings and as players?
Well, I think there are similarities. I think there's more attention brought to the two of them because of their faith. And oftentimes they are in positions where the expressions of their faith are captured. And that in and of itself, rightfully or wrongfully, can be somewhat polarizing externally. But not necessarily internally. And we've discussed this ad nauseum before. Like, I don't think people really appreciate the faith communion within athletics, whether it be professional or on the collegiate level.
So when you say internally, you mean in the locker room, there's no real issue?
No, listen, oftentimes, you know, sports in a lot of ways is a trendsetter for society. It's very embracing, and there's an openness to a team. We're not judgmental, you know. We don't get caught up in your ethnicity, your religion, your gender, those things. Ultimately, it's like a family. You know, I have 3 kids. If, you know, all 3 of them are different, but I love them all equally. And a team is very similar to that, in that you don't have those issues. Listen, all teams have chaplains that you can go to, and whatever your denomination is, and you can discuss whatever issues, because ultimately we get so caught up in faith. Faith is more about a confidence and a trust, whether it be in a God or a deity or a doctrine. But more importantly, it's about a trust and a confidence you have within yourself. And that's why the vast majority of athletes have faith.
So why polarizing externally, as Greg just mentioned? Why outside of the locker room, if you will?
Well, I think that, you know, faith is something that's so important. You know, when we can talk about all sorts of things in the public space, but we don't want to talk about those things that are most dear to us, most intimate to us, which is, like Greg was saying, the faith within. And so it can be polarizing, I think, because it touches a nerve. I've been hearing all these different stories of people thinking, oh, you know, I've been hearing about Jeremy and I've been seeing his faith. Maybe I should, you know, read the Bible. Maybe I should check out what this is that's driving Jeremy, what this is that's so intimate for him.
You're finding that happening?
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing stories left and right all over the place.
When you hear from him, is he looking to you for advice on how to handle all of this and how to deal with so much public pressure to not only be a great player, but also to live up to his Christian beliefs?
I think he's moved on from looking up to me to instead asking me for support, asking me to pray for him. And so when I spoke to him on Monday, our conversation centered around how can I be supporting him in prayer? How can I be lifting him up to God? And how can the people around him be supporting him?
In the locker room, most players just want to know, can you play? Bottom line. And Greg, is that not the case?
That is the case, and I think that's what's most important. You make a great point about that. But keep in mind, it goes back to that confidence you have within. That's what allows you to deal with the pressures and the adversities of being a professional athlete.
Adrian, Tam, Greg Anthony, thank you so very much for being here.
Appreciate it.